Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hutzbath with Agent Mastermind, and I am super excited today. Got a dear friend with me and partner in crime, Chris Bates. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, my friend. It's great to be with you today.
Dude, I'm honored to have you on the class. I'm honored to have your expertise and what you bring to this this great group here. Guys, Chris Bates has been in the real estate industry for 17 years as a licensed real estate broker. He's taken his passion to another level by creating strategies, mindset, tools, systems, all kinds of stuff to help people get leads. He's just a brilliant guy, brilliant sales guy, speaks all around the world to different border realtors and stuff like that. So he's one of us, great guy. So he's going to share with us some stuff today that has to do with the perfect open house and what he believes to be one of the best lead sources on planet Earth. And I 100%, we were talking before the class, and he was sharing some stuff he's going to share with me today, and I got a little excited myself. So I got my notepad. I'm honored to have you here, man.
Thanks, brother. You know, and I'll tell you, the Agent Mastermind couldn't be more appropriate for what you and I have done together over the last number of years. We've been basically masterminding on tips and strategies and things, and just having a blast with it. So so it's so exciting. You know, it's always exciting to mind share with everybody. So you guys, you know, the way I look at it is that we're all kind of one giant pool, and the more we work together, the more we can kind of perfect this art of marketing, which is, you know, it's never done. There's always new stuff to do.
Right on, right on. So what you got for us, man? So I know you got more than just the open house, but so many tools to go along with it.
Yeah, you know, today I want everybody to be real clear that, you know, it has nothing to do with the systems. For those of you that do use our system or know our system, it doesn't really have anything to do with our system per se. It has to do with the mindset, and the mindset really is just that if you want to grow your business, you got to look for all the different ways to do it. So today we're going to talk about open houses. And for those of you, you know, as a fellow realtor, I know how it goes. Open houses for a lot of us are horrible. And one of the things that we often say is, you know, if you do what you, it's kind of like working out, Scott. The more you do what you don't want to do,
yes,
the better your results.
Absolutely, man. Unfortunately, that's the way it works.
Yeah, so for a lot of us, are like, I hate open houses. I don't even want to think about this. But what I hope the takeaway today is, if everybody here just learns one thing, just one thing, then I think, Scott, you know, we did our job today, and it was a good day. Because each time with marketing, there's too much to implement, there's too much to learn, so we're never trying to just do it all. It's just, you know, can I take one more thing? So just real quick, if you guys don't know who we are, agentmarketing.com. The only thing I want to show here is the perfecting the art of real estate marketing. The reason I think that's important, that's our mission statement. And this term perfecting means that we're never done. And I want to infect everybody with that mindset. We're all perfecting this art. It's never done. So that makes it fun. I mean, Scott, you and I might be talking about, you know, open houses and holograms and stuff here in a year.
Oh, man, it's scary, but yeah, true. Yeah.
You don't know. And for those of you that don't know me, I was a full-time real estate agent for 10 years, built a real estate team, had a real estate office, and out of that real estate office, you know, I had a real estate office both in California and in Denver, and I kind of grew our systems and stuff like that. So it was basically an attempt to make myself and my agents more successful, that I started looking for tips and tricks, all the stuff that Scott and I have worked on over the years. It really has come out of a desire to try and make my agents, myself, and all of you guys, everybody just more successful. I want to start with this, Scott, because I think it's important. So here's a quick story. On his deathbed, Alexander the Great summoned his generals and told them his 3 ultimate wishes. His first wish: the best doctors need to carry his coffin. Second, that all the wealth he accumulated, money, gold, stones, should be scattered along the way to his burial. The third was that his hands, morbidly, should be left hanging outside his coffin for all to see. And it's like, huh? Why would he ask for those 3 things? Well, he said, basically, I want the best doctors to carry my coffin to demonstrate that in the face of death, even the best doctors in the world have no power to heal. I want the road to be covered with my treasure so that everybody sees that the wealth acquired on earth stays on earth. And I want my hands to swing in the wind so that people understand that we come to this world empty-handed, we leave empty-handed, And the most precious treasure of all is exhausted time.
And I want that's man, dude. That gave me chills.
You know, Scott, the reason I said that is because none of us have enough time. Everybody's always like, you know, I don't have time. I don't have time. Right. I don't do open houses. I don't have time for that.
Right. ain't nobody got time for that.
There's no time for anything, really. I mean, if you think about it, there's like always something to do in the way of productivity. So I just wanted to impart that there's never enough time, but I would hope that for you, even if you're maybe not the one holding an open house or something, there's some takeaways for your team today. And at least you get open houses held on your behalf, so that way you could keep attracting consumers, because it's really a big deal. This isn't, Scott, about you and I trying to say that there's only one way to do this.
Yeah, I've tried that before, and that just doesn't work so well. Yeah.
You know, the Matrix is like, you know, take the blue pill and you'll be the best realtor ever. There's no perfect. So if you guys have things to add on, other systems, other things, that's the way to go about it. Marketing is about being creative, having fun, making changes for your marketplace. For those of you, you know, I don't know if anybody's watched that Will Smith video. You know that one, Scott, where someone spliced together a bunch of quotes from him? And what I love about it, is he talks about making a decision. And he talks about how little teeny things add up. So today, you know, we talked about just one thing, and I want to just impart that let's try and imagine building a brick wall, but let's try and imagine doing it like all at once. Let's like take all the bricks, let's get all the mortar, and Scott, you got the mortar, I got the bricks, okay? And you and I, we've got like 50 people to help us. And we're going to throw this wall up literally in one throw. We're just going to try and throw.
It's a good analogy. Yeah.
It's going to be the messiest wall you've ever seen. It's going to be a pile of bricks and mortar. Right. And you can't do it. So I want everybody to stop trying to play lottery mindset and try and win like, you know, I just want to win. I just want to win the lottery. You know, if I could just do this one thing, it's going to make me rich. If I can just do this one thing, then I can go lay on a beach. It really isn't about that with success. It's about laying one brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, as Will Smith said, and then you lay another one, and then the next day you lay another one, and next thing you know, you have a really awesome wall, a very strong, fortified wall. And that's really about, you know, this open house is part of the strategy to being a great realtor. So today, we'll talk about how to showcase your listings in your open houses, because it is your resume. We'll talk about how to tell the world, and then we'll talk about how to get a bunch of leads from it. So the three things we'll focus on a little bit, Scotty.
Awesome, man. Love it. I love the last one. Actually, I love them all, but the last one's the leads that you like. Let's get the leads, baby.
Are you mean you're in this for the money?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So, I mean, I love hanging with everybody too, but.
You know, I get in rooms with people, and we all like have this mindset of like, well, you know, I'm not a greedy person. No, absolutely not. Money's a metaphor for how many people you help. You help a ton of people, you make money, period.
Right,
you know, it's very rare that you've got an evil, you know, tyrant mindset to make money. Most of the time, money comes as a result of you helping a ton of people. So if you're helping people, you should get leads, which result into more deals, and all of us want to do more deals. You know, Scott, I know myself, I became a realtor because I wanted an unlimited ceiling, and with that unlimited ceiling, I also wanted the freedom to enjoy my life, my wife, my family, and my everything. And I think for a lot of you, it's a similar intention. So why do we limit our ceiling and not doing everything we can to attract the leads? You know, let's start with a definition of open house. You know, because a lot of people are like, open house, I'm just not into it. Well, what is it? It's a place where all visitors are welcome. So Scott,
a business. Yeah, we talked about this before the class, and you kind of nailed it on the head. It's like, why not be open 24/7? You know, why not be open? I know people that do open houses during the week, weekends, all day, every day. I mean, if it was me, I mean that would be. I mean, your store's got to be open. Is kind of what you're saying.
How many people have walked into your office, Scott, and said, "Hey, how you doing? I just thought I would check your office out today." And and I was hoping that after I do so, maybe we could talk about real estate a little bit.
Right.
I mean, strangers are coming off the street, right? And I can tell you guys, years ago I was at a big RE/MAX office, one of the largest. So, you know, you can imagine you get some walk-ins, and And some of you have storefronts where you've gauged it towards a walk-in, but I would suggest that is more of an open house. And so, but in my RE/MAX office building, I was in an office building, okay, I had one, and you guys, I used to carry 20, 30 listings at a time. I had one walk-in I think I was in that office like 6 years, in 6 years, okay? And even then, we're like, who, what? They're like, there's a buyer up front. Like, what are you talking about?
Right, right.
Whereas if you're holding an open house, you have all visitors welcome, buyers can come in and out, you can have dialogues, you can have conversation. So what I would posit is, has anybody ever been to, you know, a store, and you walk up to the store, and you go to open it, and its door's locked, and you look at it, and you're like, huh? And the first thought, Scotty, is, ooh, do they not want to make any money?
Right.
You know,
right.
I guess their store's closed. I was on Orcas Island in the San Juans, for any of you guys that have been there, and it's a very artsy community. It's an island mindset. And I walked up to a store with a buddy of mine, and I went to go in, and it was locked. And I looked at the door, and it said, open Tuesdays sometimes.
No way. That fits, doesn't it? That fits.
And I thought, you know, hey, good for them, you know, God bless, it's great. However, for us as professionals, if we want to make money, we can't lock our doors and then, you know, expect money to just roll in. So I want to posit that it's our retail shop, it's our attraction, it's our bait. So let's think about using that bait as much as humanly possible. The top producers in my area, and I live in a coastal area in California, the top producers are holding stuff, like Scott said, throughout the week, but there's so much more that they can do. I know many of them, and I go to the open houses, and they're terrible at it. So everybody on this call, we can all hopefully be a little bit better. According to NAR, 45% of people still use it as an information source. In fact, I told Scott that my my CFO was he used to be Pulte Homes CFO, and he's bought in 6 homes. And when he heard I was talking, Scott and I were talking about this webinar, he said, you know, I bought 3 of my 6 houses in open houses.
Crazy. Crazy number. Yeah.
And I said, why would you do that? And he said, you know, he said, I basically look at it as the agent's interview. It's a way for me to interview realtors, to look at neighborhoods, that kind of thing.
That's a great analogy there too, man. And some of the stuff you're going to cover, guys, is just insanely. The next slide, Chris, you talk about your resume. And when anything that's seen on the web or in person or in a listing or in an open house, guys, that's your resume. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find ways to elevate that in a techie way, in a cool way, in a professional manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's so many unspoken things about your resume. Like, you know, it's one thing if you hand people a piece of paper. It's another thing if you just are great. People are, you know, showing, not telling, like being.
Yes, yes.
It's so much more powerful. And the marketing, who you are, how you display yourself, all that matters so much more than, you know, all the other stupid things that we do as agents. I mean, it's so funny, Scotty, that we will send, you know, 9 months of postcards to a neighborhood to try and get a listing.
Yep.
When we could literally just hold like 3 open houses and get a listing.
Good. Good point. Good point.
I mean, I used to get listings and buyers from open houses. You know, I don't know the exact figures, but I would guess it was 20 to 30% of the time. So worst case, 1 out of 5, best case, 1 out of 3. I'm getting real deals. So if you're holding 2 to 3 open houses
People
a week,
coming in houses.
Yeah, you're talking about I'm not very good at math, but we're talking about 2 to 4 prospects a month that are real deals. You know, and who couldn't use an extra just 1 prospect, much less 2 to 4?
No question.
And they're real. So Scott, can you see which slide do you see?
I see create your brand.
Okay. The reason this one's important is because we talk about your resume. We talk about standing out. One of the things I would posit is that we all have to have different niche markets, different ways that we stand out. So when people come to us, they know what they're dealing with. If I don't tell you about me, you're going to come up with your own, right? You're going to create your own definition of me. So I don't want to be in the open house, Scott, in shorts and a tank top, right? And I maybe don't want to be in a full suit, but I want to be presentable enough to where when people come in, there's a story that they tell themselves about me anyways, so I want to craft how that is. Same with your online branding. You want to create your brand, and what I would suggest is why not create a brand around the neighborhood that you're holding open, because you could have multiple brands for every neighborhood that you want to work. You could have 14 neighborhoods, Scotty. I mean, 22 neighborhoods. Why are we limiting it to one? Literally, if you're holding open houses in your different neighborhoods, have a brand for each one. Be the true expert at different stuff. In our system and plenty of others, so, you know, if you don't have a system, it's cool. But we do a branding thing where we actually allow the agent, all of you guys, to call in and get free branding for whatever niche, whatever neighborhood, however you want. So I think it's real important.
So what you're saying, I think that's important, because what you're saying by that is, like, when you go to create a, you know, all the stuff we're going to cover, single property website, your flyers, it can have your brand. So it's special, not the same as everybody else. It's unique to you. It's unique to the neighborhood. It's unique to your area. I mean, all this stuff comes into play here. This is your resume. So when you're looking at all this different stuff, think about it as, how can you separate yourself from the competition, but have people remember you because you've done something special above and beyond what the normal is, you know, for real estate.
Yeah, you guys want now we have the one monster, right? We have Zillow, and I heard a broker the other day call it Zilla, like Godzilla, because it's the one monster.
Nice.
And what I want you guys to think about is that, do you want Zilla, the Godzilla, to be branded, or do you want you in the marketplace to be the trusted advisor that people love? If so, then take your marketing seriously. Work with a company out there that's going to help you create your brand, because it's huge. It really helps you stand out. And in your brand, you know, it helps you showcase to the neighborhood. And what we do in our makeovers is we make over, you know, your personal website, because you have unlimited of those, make over property websites, make over all your print marketing, because we own a print company, all that. But it doesn't matter what tools you use. It matters that you understand that your brand matters, and that your brand can actually be attached deeply to different neighborhoods. And the more you do so, the more people look to you as the neighborhood expert. They don't know that you're not, right? They assume that you are. It's the opposite. When people come into an open house, they assume that Scotty is the neighborhood expert. They don't think that Scott, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the opposite. They actually assume you are. So how do you stand out? The first way you do that is you have to create a digital showcase. What that means is that you have to have a way where people like you look tech savvy, they can take it away with them, because in a Google world, people are totally spoiled. Everybody expects to have all the data now. We expect to have it now. And so what we like to do is we like to start with a property website. And people will say, you know, Scott, this has become, you know, we're the #1 property website company, but there's plenty others out there.
Sure.
And the thing is that it's become sort of this horrible homogenized thing, just like Godzilla. And I don't want people to think that way. I want you to think of each and every property website as its own collateral. See, you can make these, you can put as much love into these as you like. You can password protect documents, historical data, blueprints, appraisals, HD pictures, whatever you want. They become your rich content commercial for that listing. They become a special marketing piece for that property, but more importantly, they become your resume to the community. So I want you to create a property website. I want you to have some sort of mobile application. We like to do it with text and responsive design and mobile-friendly websites and all that kind of stuff. But bottom line is that you have some sort of mobile application, because consumers demand and expect it. We want you to have virtual tours. And in fact, I'll suggest here in a second what I want you to do with these virtual tours, because I think it's important in an open house to mirror what builders do. Because if you think about it, builders have gotten really good at it. We want you to have panoramic tours, so people can actually take away and show their spouse, their friends, and their family after they leave the open house, and say, you know, I went in this house today. It was really interesting. I want to show you something. And they can literally show them the panos. That's really easy to do. Yep. And the other thing too is you want HD. You want full screen. And so when you have gorgeous pictures that can go full screen, what we suggest, #1, is that you have a laptop, an iPad, something in the open house to display this stuff. Something, and you guys, I'm going to talk about how to get a bunch of leads and stuff here in a second. So, but what I want you guys to think about is what I'm trying to set up here is your digital collateral. So if I'm a neighbor, Scott, and I'm thinking about selling my house,
Yep.
Don't you think I'm going to go in every single open house that I see in the neighborhood?
No question. No question. You know, I just thought of something. This is a little bit off tangent, but has anybody used those Apple TVs? Like literally, how hard would it be to carry an Apple TV around with you with an HDMI and a plug-in, plug it into the TV that you have, hook up to the wireless internet, and display it on a right there. Display it on a whatever screen they have, and display whatever you want to as they walk into the house. That's totally easy. It's $100. You know what I mean for the Apple TVs?
Yeah, I mean,
it's insane.
I'm a realtor. You know, I've got the key and everything. I'm still going to every open house in my neighborhood. I want to know.
Right. And you're not even buying. Right. You just to check them out. Yeah.
And also, what am I doing? I'm building relationships with the agents as a neighbor. You know, the realtor that works our neighborhood, okay, all the neighbors know him. And it's so funny. One of my best friends in the neighborhood goes to me, "Oh, yeah, I know. He's really cool. He and I are good friends." And I laughed. I'm like, "You're good friends?" "Oh, well, no. I've just seen him in a lot of open houses." Like,
right.
But the perception is, and guess who gets called first?
Right, absolutely. He does.
Yeah, because he's seen as the expert. So when someone comes in, I want you guys to realize that when you're disorganized, when you're disheveled, when you don't have digital media, when you don't look like you're tech savvy and have stuff for them to take away to show their friends and family, when you're not displaying on the flat screen a gorgeous virtual tour. So Scott, think about going to a builder and think about the beautiful music that's played, think about the home that's staged, think about the virtual tour.
Yeah, all that.
The virtual tour is playing on a big old flat screen.
Yep.
Because why? Because it creates a mood.
It does.
And it also makes the home feel special. And so it's your goal to make the home feel special because it reflects back on you. So I also, you know, I would say I'm not, as a realtor, I'm going to be totally straight up with everybody. You're going to probably want to do open houses for every listing just because it's best interest for your seller and sellers expect it. But let's face it, as agents, we really should cherry pick. So what I'm saying is that you should do open houses for everything because you never know and you want to help everybody. But the ones you do more of
right.
are the properties that are more lovingly maintained in neighborhoods you want to work.
Amen.
Because that's your resume.
Yeah.
So display it on a flat screen, put it on an iPad, do lots of things. But here's the other thing. I notice a lot of you, when I go to open houses, I always look for a couple things. And one of the things that I ask, okay, is I'm like, okay, so is there anything else in this neighborhood for sale? And so I'm in a neighborhood that I know real well, but I was at some open houses about 2 months ago. And a couple of the realtors asked them, yeah, I don't know, there's a couple to do, like nobody could give me any info. Then this one gentleman, okay, goes, oh, absolutely. He pulls out a map. He's got all the listings in a book already. He hands me the book. He then starts showing me on the map where each one is, and he's turning to it in the book and making notes on the pages for me based on what my wife and I told him we liked.
Wow, impressive.
And I'm looking at him going, okay, you the man. And then afterwards I told him who I was and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool that he's just that much of a superstar that he gets that as a consumer. He listened to us. Mm-hmm. He educated us. He became an expert, and quite frankly, even though I'm a licensed realtor, if I buy in that neighborhood, and my wife's trying to get me to because it's got big, huge yards, and she's from Missouri and desiring a huge yard, if I buy in that neighborhood, I've already internally told myself that he deserves the deal. I'm going to let him represent me.
Nice.
Because, you know, what a beautiful, he gave me that message of like, you know what, I care and I'm very knowledgeable. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure you know what other homes for sale. For those of you that haven't done it, I always make sure that I've got at least 5 homes, ideally, to show, like already set up. I literally set the showings up, Scott. So if I'm holding the open house from 10 to 1, or 12 to 2 or 12 to 3 or whatever, from 3 to 5 or from 1, for the rest of the day, I'm going to set up 5 homes near there.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Well, why not? Say, hey, I need your home open just in case I have a buyer or somebody that wants to come in and check it out. Why? Yeah, that's absolutely. Give them more options. You want to create it's really about, 1, your resume. 2 is building a relationship with whoever comes in, and the more value you can provide to them at the time they're with you in front of your face, the better, the easier it is going to have them want to work with you like you wanted to work with that guy.
Right. I mean, because it's like, oh, yeah, did you know that there's one with an infinity pool down the street? Huh? Yeah. Over there on Broadway. Oh, there is? Yeah, in fact, I've already got it set up. I can show you right after I'm done here. You want to just come back and meet me? I'll just show you real quick, 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay.
Nice.
I'll see you at 3:30.
Yeah.
There's no better way to close a deal and to build a relationship, so make sure you're prepared with that. With that said, you guys, I suggest you make a personal website about each neighborhood you work. There's no reason not to. And so whether it's other systems you're using, in our system you can literally just click Add New and create a full custom personal website. You can even call the team and they'll do a free graphic for their website.
For the actual neighborhood. What a great idea.
Well, because you're branding the neighborhood. So
right.
Scott, what's the neighborhood you live in called?
Autumn Woods.
Okay. So you have autumnwoodsHomesForSale.com or whatever you have, right?
Yep.
You then put it on all the marketing, you do it on all everything, so when you hold an open house there, people go, oh, he is the expert.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, if you go to my website, you can see all the stuff you can save because we have full IDX searches and everything on there. You can save, you can make notes, you can check out what's going on in the neighborhood. Have some fun with it.
Right.
I also post all the vendors in the neighborhood. We have vendor pages on everything, so that way if you ever need an electrician, if you ever need, HVAC or anything like that, I've got all that posted there for you. So the more we brand ourselves, the more the likes of something like Zilla, the Godzilla, doesn't matter. It's just another medium. I think it's great. All marketing is great. It's just another medium. What we can't think about is all marketing becomes really fun when we're in control. Where marketing gets scary is when we think that someone else is in control, because then it takes away our deals. But if you're the one commanding neighborhoods, you'll never be obsolete. People will always look to you for advice, for wisdom, for understanding, for negotiating strength in a neighborhood. So make sure on these you display IDX listings, neighborhood vendors. You can write articles about that neighborhood. Some people will showcase like babysitters, different things like that.
Great idea.
So Scotty, bottom line is that if we're thinking about the open house, 3 parts. The first part is sort of getting set up to make sure that you're displaying properly so your resume is good. That means being dressed properly. It means having a home that shows and doesn't smell and is picked up. It means, you guys, I can't tell you how important this is. I had this listing, Scott, is like a 5,000 square foot home, just gorgeous home in Golden, Colorado. And so we're showing it and we're selling it, and it's my listing, okay? And everyone's loving it, but it's not selling after a couple weeks, and I'm like, this is strange. This home's perfect. So then I start getting some feedback, and I realize that whenever I'm there, it's gorgeous because I make sure it's picked up.
Right.
But when I'm not there, the buyer, or the sellers rather, are messy, and people are coming into this nasty mess. And so what I finally did is called one part of the party had already relocated, and I called that person and said, you need to relocate the rest of the family now if you want this home sold. They did, and it sold instantly. And so that's what I want to impart, is that I can't tell you how important it is that you make sure that yourself and the house and everything is presentable, because presentable is huge. But presentable goes into your digital media, it goes into your showcase, it goes into all that. When you go to tell the world about the house, you now use all that digital showcase to scream to the world, okay? Number one, on the property websites. If you put open house dates and things like that on your property websites and then scream to the world, now they have a commercial to come back to, right? Think about it. Scott, when you have a President's Day sale or a Memorial Day sale or something like that for local retail, don't they run commercials in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. Absolutely they do, for sure.
Like President's Day sale, 40% off, you know.
Every day. Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing. A property website, all it is a rich content commercial for that individual listing. It's a retail shop. It's your bait to attract consumers. So go ahead and put the open house dates and everything.
Well, here's the one thing about like part of this getting it out there and letting the world know that you're having open houses. You guys have heard about the reticular activator. You may not hear that there's an open house ever until you're ready to buy a home. When you're ready to buy a home, there's that little reticular activator that goes off in your head that you're going to see every for sale sign, see every open house sign, see everything hear every conversation that has to do with buying or selling a home, because now you're keen to it. So you just don't know. If you're having one open house a month, you may never hit that reticular activator of somebody that's driving by that house every single day. But if you have open houses every single week at different homes that you choose, you may kick off that reticular activator with somebody you never would have even had a chance to get in front of.
Right. You would never, I mean, I've met people at open houses that I would have never met. This goes for other strategies that we teach, whether it's, creating ads, getting, lots of prospects from the different search sites or social media or what have you. It's all important. Okay, that's the point, is that it's a full circle. But open house is your eyeball to eyeball to individuals that you very likely would have never had access to. Scott, you hit the nail on the head. And my wife and I, if you guys are anything like us, you have to keep being empathetic with the consumers. Okay, right? My wife and I typically are like, for every, we've owned 4 properties, and typically every one we're arguing over, not arguing, but lovingly bantering over which neighborhood, because it's usually she wants one, I want another, right? And it's almost like we want different ones just so there's a contrast, right? It's like if she's picking one side, I'll kind of go the other way just to make sure we have something to bounce it against. So then what are we going to do when we're not quite ready, but when we're getting ready? We're going to start going to open houses. And so all the way up to the process, if I don't have a realtor, I'm going to start hitting open houses like crazy. In fact, a week ago, I'm a broker. I have a key. But
right,
like
you can do anything.
3 Sundays ago, Scott, we didn't have children. They were with grandparents. And I woke up that morning, we went to breakfast, and afterwards Marcy, my wife, looks at me all excited, and she goes, "Can we go to some open houses?"
Really?
That's how
cool.
people see it. It's exciting.
It's exciting, yeah.
We as agents see it as horrible. Why?
Yeah.
God, it's horrible to have excited buyers and sellers through.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah.
So once you put that you're having an open house on your virtual tours and your property sites and all that kind of stuff, then start telling the world about it. Post a Craigslist ad. Post a local newspaper. Does everybody know that your local newspapers have now gone online? Everybody's dying in the print world, but everybody's going online. So post to all the things online humanly possible. But if you still have a popular local rag, then post in that, because people still look in the classifieds on the weekends, especially depending upon the price point. And if you're going for younger, like let's say you're holding an open house for a townhome or a condo, then what I would always do is go ahead and post to a classified that's, more like the Village Voice, or the, you know what I mean? Scott, the one that has all the shows and stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of towns will have like a local newspaper just for the younger. So base it on your crowd, but make sure that you're telling the world about it, and there's lots of free and pay ways to do it.
Hey, Craig. Here, Chris, Rusty, she said, I'm very concerned about posting a high-end house on Craigslist. What do you think about that? I mean, what about out-of-town buyers that are looking? Where are they going to look? I mean, they got to look. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Okay, yeah. So one of my friends, he's number 7 in a multi-billion-dollar company, right? So they got like 3,000, 4,000 employees. And he's down at my house visiting. He actually lives in Silicon Valley, so he's, that Silicon Valley money.
Yep.
And he's visiting my house, and he's like, "Hey, Bates, I'm buying a house." "Oh, you are? Cool." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me show you." And I go, "Okay." And he jumps on Craigslist
Really?
and looks it up.
Wow.
And I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm looking it up." And I go, "Why are you going on Craigslist?" He goes, "I just find it easier." He goes, "The agents posted ads all over this, and I can always find it really easily." I'm like, "That's interesting."
Wow, that's true, though. That's true, yeah. Yeah, it's easy to find.
And he pulls it up, and it's his house, in the Oakland Hills, for those of you that know the area, that's got a beautiful, he actually lives in it now, they bought it, but, beautiful view of the whole area and all that. But the point is that this high-end home, he chose Craigslist. So I would not assume that just because your sellers don't go on Craigslist, that the buyers don't.
Right.
Buyers use Craigslist for a lot of things. For instance, Scott, I have a charity for kids with autism, and we have a music charity, and I own a recording studio, and we have a music school and stuff like that. And a lot of amazing equipment comes off of Craigslist. So my view of Craigslist isn't negative, because we've gotten all this beautiful equipment off of Craigslist.
Right.
So depending upon what you're getting from Craigslist is your viewpoint. So just see it as another portal. That's it. It's another distribution channel. All these are distribution channels. Godzilla is a distribution channel. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. It's all distribution channels. And so what I suggest is that you guys go tell everybody on social media. But here's the big takeaway, and Scott, I know you've done a lot of classes on social media, and you're kind of a guru with that, but it's a cocktail party, right?
It is, man. That's the biggest point you could have made the whole show. Yep, right there.
Yeah,
yep.
It's like, it's a cocktail party. So what I never want to see any of you do ever in the history of social media is get a new listing and then go post a link to your HD property site on there and say, hey, everybody, I got to check out my new listing. Right. You look like the old car salesman that people aren't going to pay attention to.
Right.
And, in fact, they'll start hiding your posts.
Mm-hmm.
What you should do instead is say, oh, man, I just got this new listing. I can't believe they haven't changed out the shag carpet. Yuck.
Right.
Or,
right. Draw some comments. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Or, oh my gosh, ridiculous. This new listing I just got, they actually imported the tumbled marble from Madagascar. Like,
there you go.
And then say, can you see the fossils in this picture? You know, so something that's actually engaging and not just trying to be salesy. Same thing with open houses. Do not say, having an open house, anybody want to attend? That is the lamest. The answer is not only no, but why are you torturing my wall with something this salesy?
Right.
I thought you were my friend.
Right.
Lobster.
I love this one. I love this one. Lobster will be served. Come to the open house this Saturday. I'm like, okay. It's not even about the open house. It's about the lobster. People won't even read past that.
It might even be. This might even be too salesy, right? It's
right.
Like, hey, got a new listing, having an open house, and I'm trying to debate between beluga caviar, lobster, or hot dogs.
Right.
Totally.
There you go. That's a great one. Ask for their opinion. A ton of people will comment.
Or how about this? We're having an evening open house, and I wanted to do a wine tasting, but some people are offended by alcohol. Are you guys?
Yeah, there you go.
And now everybody's posting, I'm not, or I am, or I'm whatever.
That's right. Why not bring your friends in? Those are the people that will refer you. They work with, think about one person on social media has about, I don't know, they say, 225 friends on average?
Right.
One of your friends stops by just to have a glass of wine. You've just connected with that person who now will tell them about your open house, how it was cool to just visit, hang out, good guy, and then you can show them all the technology stuff that, hey, text for information, check this out. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Show them your resume. That's a huge deal. Huge.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about which band's going to play my open house, Nicki Minaj or U2. Anybody have any opinions?
Right.
Right
on. That's good.
That's fun with it. But here's the other thing, too, is make sure your sellers are friends with you because it's the best way to interconnect. And a little tip here from social media is that do you guys realize that nowadays, as you're recalling your spheres, you should be running, if you already haven't been watching their lives, you should be running to Facebook. Yeah. And then when you call Scott, you're saying, hey, buddy, I just want to connect, see how it's going, hadn't talked in a while since I sold you that house. And, I noticed your kids just graduated from Emerson. Congratulations. God, that's huge. I can't wait for my kids to graduate. So anyways, have a great day.
Right on.
Using
Awesome.
social media to be more personal is huge.
Huge. That's the only way you should be using it.
Right, because it's about people. So post to classifieds. But here's the big thing. When you guys post places, I get driven mad when I see the local magazines or the local newspapers with real estate listings in them, and they don't have property URLs. They don't have property-specific text codes and QR codes. Why do I get mad?
Because how do you get the information? I want information about the home.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, I go to some crappy realtor site that's got nothing on it, or they got very little. So just know that in the Google world, people's patience is very low.
Very low. So, they don't have time. They say they don't have time. Going back to the very first, second, or third slide, don't have time.
Right. So you want to make sure that they realize that you're giving them the most amount of ability to get information. So you're giving them property-specific information. If I see that it's about that particular property and not about you, Scott, people don't go on the web looking for pictures of real estate agents.
Right. No, they don't. That's a good point. That is a great point.
They don't go, I'm going to go look up all the best agents in my town today.
Right.
It's not something we do. We look up
Right.
properties. So if you keep it about the property, you will stand out by default. You'll do more deals. So sample ad, open house this weekend if you're doing it, in the newspaper or something, with the address, with a link to the website, with the text code. So you've got multiple ways that they can get a hold of you. We have things like property blogs, stuff like that. I'm going to run through real quick so we can answer questions. Property blogs are kind of fun, and they're ways that you guys can literally blog about a property, but they come up in Google really fast. So
you can hire somebody to blog on Fiverr for you about that home, and it's for $5. It's amazing too.
We have a one-click HTML poster that posts it right into the blog automatically. So it posts all the gorgeous property stuff, and then you just have a Fiverr person write a little paragraph or whatever.
Absolutely.
Brochures, we've got that. You guys have that. There's tons of different brochures. We even have like really cool finance flyers for the open house so people can see what their payments would be. I think that's kind of huge when you're at an open house.
And this should look familiar from the flower pot strategy. You have the flyer that you put in the flower pot with the web address, text code, and QR code that you give to them. Hey, please accept this free gift. If you ever looking to market your home again, I'd love to interview for the position. Remember that script? It's an amazing script. Isn't that a good script?
Right.
If you're going to market, if you're thinking about marketing your home again, I'd love to interview for the position. Please accept this free gift of something I've already created for you, which is the law of reciprocity. Give something of value. This is where this comes in.
Yeah, why is it we hold back thinking it's going to get us the deal? The law of reciprocity is only kicked in when we give first.
Right, absolutely.
If you don't give first,
absolutely.
You've not even created the law of reciprocity. What you've done is made it harder to close the deal because now there's this barrier. So Scott, your flower pot strategy essentially breaks down the barrier and says, hey,
it does.
I'm giving first.
With massive, you guys go to the Agent Mastermind private group. There's tons and tons and tons of success testimonials of agents that are having great success with it. So the law of reciprocity is stronger than ever.
Yeah, and I think it's the best way to build easy trust.
No, real easy. Yeah, break down that wall like you said.
One of the things I show here, you guys, is we help 103,000 agents all over the world, and we've got this really software and stuff like that. But we also have a printing company. Now, I hate printing. In other words, I didn't want to own a printing company, so I'm not trying to say like use us, use whoever. The one unique thing, though, that we do that I want to make sure you guys are thinking about is that everything we do is property specific, because property specific helps, again, say I'm a great realtor. So we have, things like water bottle labels, $15. These biz prop cards are popular. What I love about these, Scott, is that if you were going to have an open house and you went around and, hi, Scott?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris Bates. I'm holding an open house Saturday. I just wanted to invite you, and you hand him your business card with the property on the other side.
Yeah, that doesn't suck, does it? So, that's huge. So it's not about your business card. It's about properties. Give them information to get information about the property, and guess who is on the actual website of the listing, of the QR code, of the text code? You are. So now they have your information on their phone.
Yeah, so you can literally come in and now, okay, so when they shut the door, tell me they're not going to run to their computer and look up that website, or they're going to scan it, or they're going to text for it. Tell me. Come on. If it was you, wouldn't you? As soon as the agent closed the door, you're like, this is kind of cool. This agent rocks. And you're saying, hey, if you have any friends, bring them to the open house. Love to have them. By the way, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have beluga caviar or hot dogs. Why don't you come by and we'll see which one I have.
Right.
Some of the things, one-click postcards and door hangers and all sorts of stuff. So anyways, just make sure that you're showcasing your digital. Make sure you're telling people about it beforehand. Make sure you're using it as your resume. It's your retail shop. You want to have your retail shop open as much as possible. But once it's open, okay, I want everybody in this call to get tons of leads. Do you guys want more leads?
Yes.
Right?
This next thing you're going to show, man, is like the bomb. If you're doing open houses, I would highly recommend do open houses, but this next thing, man, is the bomb. And if you're multitasking, please pay attention because this is a good one.
Yeah, because what's cool about getting more leads is that you actually have more people to talk to, which means you're actually going to hopefully make more money, which I don't know if you're trying to, like, pay off debt. I don't know if you're trying to travel more. I don't know if you're trying to maybe just, be able to spend more time with your family or take more trips or get a new wardrobe or buy a new car or whatever you're trying to do, but more deals do that for you. And I tell you, Scott, I get so irritated when I go to open houses because I care about you guys. And if I go to 10 open houses, and you guys try it. Scott, you're like me. You like to go around and have fun. Try it. And you fellow realtors, get your butts out there and go to agents' open houses, because what it is it's showing you how inept your competition
What your competition is. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And then the good ones you learn from. But the bad ones you learn from, too, because you learn, wow, I don't want to be like that. You learn, ways that you can be better.
Right.
And so registering is one of them. I was in an open house recently, and she wouldn't register me. And I'm like,
she wouldn't?
Sure you don't want?
Wow.
No. And I go, did you want to register me? And she goes, no, I'm okay. Go ahead. And I go, oh, you should register me. She goes, no, it's fine. Go ahead. And I'm laughing. I'm like, please register me.
She couldn't.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know the sad part is I liked her, but I don't remember who she was. Because she didn't register me, so there was no follow-up technique.
Okay.
So she failed because even though I liked her, and I get that she was trying to be standoffish and, all that, there was no follow-up technique. So how was I to, get to know her? Right? So here's the deal. We have an open house app. It works on your phone. It works on your iPad. It works on your laptop. It works on whatever. It's free, so you don't have to, pay a dime or anything. This is free. You just go use it. And you go to lookyleads.com, L-O-K-Y leads.com, and you can download it.
I think it's on the next slide. Just so
yeah. And so it's free to everybody. If you have our system, it'll sync with our system. If you don't have our system, it's fine. You can still use it. So either way, it's free. You don't have to have our system to have it. But what's cool about it is essentially you go to Looky Leads, and what it does is it syncs with the system if you have it. You click I have an account, and you sync it up, and then it pulls your properties automatically. But
so just an FYI, you don't have to have anything to use this system. So Lucky, LOOKYLEADS.
Yeah, looky, like you're looking at something. Yeah, looky.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, Looky Leads, because Looky Loo. So the concept is people are coming through the properties, being Looky Loos, and you have Looky Leads. So
cool.
But you put in as many properties as you want. It's free, even if it doesn't matter if you don't have our system. You can still use it for free. And then what's great is when you click Start Open House, it's so simple. Okay, it creates a web form. But what's neat about this web form is that it's super simple. And so, Scott, here's the one thing people don't think about. And everybody listen up to this, because if you haven't heard it before and you're not doing it, then you're doing a big disservice, okay? So here's the deal. Open houses can be a security threat. Mostly theft. The two largest things that are stolen, or the two most common, are prescription drugs and jewelry. So you want to protect the sellers, right? Right. Because you're security, essentially. You're not just tour guide, and you're not just interior designer, and you're not just negotiator, and you're not just a marketer. You're also security.
Right.
So your registration app, basically, when people come in, you say to them, hey, Scott, Chris Bates, great to meet you, bud. For security purposes, my sellers require that you sign in. And they say no. And you say, I'm so sorry, I can't have you in today. Why? Because, number one, if that's a neighbor, okay, they think you're amazing now.
Right.
Because you're protecting the seller.
Right.
Number two, if it's a buyer, okay, and they don't want to sign in, then there probably are a security threat. Otherwise, why would they care?
Right.
Okay? And anyone that does care, they go, would you do me a favor and not send me anything? You go there. You can delete them as a lead. But at least you have them registered as a buyer. So once they register, what's really cool is they come in, we log it all, we immediately send them a text with the property website and everything to their phone. So, because we capture their phone and their email, Scott. So we get their phone goes, and it's a way for you to know if they put in the right number, too. And you're like, oh, did that just send you something? Yeah. Okay, so what I did, you do the Columbo. Yeah, I forgot. I sent you a text, and if you could you, take it with you, show your spouse, share with friends and family, whatever you like. But you also have a link there that's got all the pictures. So on your phone you can see it. So have fun with that. It's got all the information. Also, bam, right away you get the lead. So it's a lead for you instantly.
There you go. You got a number. You got their cell phone number because they got to do it from their cell phone.
You got their email, so put them on email drifts and stuff.
Email. There you go.
It puts them into the CRM with email drifts and everything. You can also then we send them a showing feedback system instantly. Bam! And so what you also do is the client goes, oh, I almost forgot. Also, I just sent you a form that is going to ask you some questions about the property. It's a showing feedback form. My sellers would just love if you would fill that out so we can get some true honesty, because I know it's kind of hard sometimes when we're face-to-face. But when you get home tonight, if you wouldn't mind, it's just 5 questions. Would you answer them real quick for me? Sure? Okay, great, thanks. Which, here's the other thing. You guys, if I'm thinking about selling my house, I just walked away and I went, wow, that agent is on it. I want
There you go.
They've got a virtual tour. They've got. I'm holding a bottle of water. I'm just on
QR
this property.
Right.
Which just going to be a text code. You know, I mean, what does this agent not do? They had knocked on my door earlier with the biz prop cards. Plus, I saw their ads running. Plus, I saw on Facebook, because my friend's friends with them, that they were having lobster. So, like, this agent's unbelievable, right? So use that. Make sure that you register everybody. So here's your to-do list, everybody, and then we can answer any questions or anything. Create your HD collateral. It doesn't have to be with us. Anybody you do it with, just create some collateral that's property-specific, neighborhood-specific, all that kind of stuff. Order any print materials, whether it's door hangers, postcards, whatever it is. Send them out, door knock, whatever, a week before. See, too many of us are doing open houses by the seat of our pants. If you plan your open houses out so you're always doing 2 or 3, like every other week, so that way each week you're doing, let's just say, Scott, every week you do 1 during the week, 1 during the weekend, so you're just doing 2 a week, okay? Then you can plan for 2 weeks ahead, because you're always 2 weeks ahead, right? So you're planning for the one 2 weeks from now. You're planning for the one 2 weeks from now. You're planning for the one 2 weeks from now. Well, here's what I see most agents do, and I used to have a bunch of realtors work for me, so I know it. What most agents do is, and I'm one, I mean, I've done it too, is, oh, geez, it's like 8 o'clock on a Friday. I'm going to a house tomorrow. And I'm not doing anything. So you're just hoping for your signs to drive all the traffic. Let's not do that. Let's plan for it. Let's make them awesome. So order any ads, post any blogs, post to any local sites like Craigslist or anywhere, post to social networks, get a registration app. Ours is free, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to help you guys be better. During the open house, as a reminder, display the property, okay? Use the registration form because it makes you stand out. Hand out any printed materials, including, you know, financing flyers, because it's great for people to be able to see the different payment options, but also fun stuff like water bottle labels, things like that. And then the most important thing, Scott, call them after.
No, I can't do that.
You don't want to actually connect with anybody.
No, I don't want to do that. Come on, Chris. This is like, what are you talking about, Willis?
Oh, you know why? Because I don't have time.
You don't have time. Yeah. So, hey, Chris, real good question here. And I want to see how you answer this. I know how I'd answer it. Trish Round, great friend of mine up in GRR, Grand Rapids. What about buyers that already have agents?
Okay. Buyers that already have agents that are attending the open house. Okay, so we 2 things. Number 1. Okay, sign crossing as a realtor is very serious. And what that means is that if I see a sign in a yard and I go door knock at Scott, that's very underhanded. It goes against our code of ethics. If a buyer or seller comes to me, that's not against our code of ethics because they came to us, okay? 90% of our friends, family that are agents, okay, don't make people sign buyer agency agreements. So what I would posit is, what do you mean they're working with another agent? What does that actually mean? Have they signed a buyer's agency agreement? Probably not. So I think you're taking it too seriously when they say that they're working with another agent, because the first thing I would ask, oh, so you have a buyer agency signed? And if they say yes, you go, great. Have your agent call me, blah, 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 blah. Move on.
Yeah, there you go.
If they say no, they don't have an agent yet, right?
Right on.
And so the bottom line is it's still your client to win. They came to you. You didn't go to them, right? And why is that agent with them if they really have an agent? You guys, people are telling you that because they just don't want to be sold. But if you're loving and you're straight up and you give them all the data, they're going to go, wow, Scott's way better than my agent.
Hey, here's a good question. Cindy Anderson, thank you so much for being here. I'm honored to be a part of your life. She says, what is the best time of day to do your open houses?
Good question.
That's a good one.
I think that All of it. And what I mean by that is that I think that it's fun to do a good morning open house because people are walking their dogs and around the neighborhood, and
Good
just
point.
know that you're going to have more neighbors if you do that. Also, it's great to do open houses right after church. So, you know, you can, if you've got a church near or something like that, or a road everybody goes down after church, it's great to do an open house after that or right after lunch. I think typically we think right after lunch is best because I'll have lunch and then go to an open house.
Sure.
But I don't think there's an easy math to it because the bottom line is there's different types of people going around. You know, there's different. Some people would prefer to go from 9 to noon, and some people would prefer to go from 2 to 5. Some people would prefer lunch, and a lot of people like twilight wine tastings or twilight open houses. Have a big barbecue.
Somebody just brought that up. Somebody just brought up twilight open houses.
Oh, yeah. But what I used to do all the time was I would tell my sellers, I had my ABC marketing. And for my A marketing, part of the A marketing was a huge launch of the listing. And the launch of the listing would include a twilight open house that would be like a big barbecue for the neighborhood. And you invite kids, you tell everybody, you door knock with biz prop cards, you say, hey, listen, we're having a twilight open house. We want to tell all your friends and family. It's also just going to be a neighborhood block party. You invite your fellow agents. You invite everybody. And it's a rager. It's really, really a fun way for everybody to kind of just bond. But guess who looks like a superstar?
Sunset open house. Yeah, absolutely, man. Dude, I'm telling you, it's all about, I say dude, I don't know why, it's just a habit of mine, but having open houses and inviting your friends over, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, not friends, I don't know, just connecting, engaging, and interacting. If you have 50 people that you connect, engage, and interact with, those 50 people all know 200 people. We're talking thousands of people that now will refer you as friends every single time someone talks about buying, selling, all that stuff. So that's your goal, is to build deep relationships with as many people as you can. Have an awesome resume is what I took out of this. That was my big aha. Is like every time you do something that has to do with your business, how do you elevate that situation or that piece that somebody is going to see to a higher level than what your competition's doing? Well, how do you know what your competition's doing? Go see what your competition's doing by visiting and kind of seeing. Don't blow your cover, but if you want to, blow your cover afterwards. But find out what they're doing and elevate it so that when somebody does meet you, they're like, holy crap, I have to go. I have to work with this person. There's no way. There's nobody else like this, because they're going to go visit 10 other open houses. They're going to get nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're going to get no. Dude. They're going to get no information, no registration, no fun stuff. No, Scott, you just said something. I had an aha too right there when you said that. You guys, listen to this. So I forget which holiday. I'm going to say Memorial Day. One of the days that anyways, a couple months ago, a friend of mine holds an open house in a neighborhood where we have our annual cornhole tournament. Okay. And
I love that game. Love that game.
Yeah, it's so much fun, you guys. For those of you from the Midwest, you know all about it. But my wife's from Missouri, so we've got all this planned. And what's fun is that there's probably 80 of us, Scott, because we've got like 50 adults and 30 kids or something like that. 40, something, So there's a lot of us out. Okay. Yeah. So this listing was in that neighborhood because we're in the park.
Okay.
And he's normally a big part of the tournament because his wife's in it, his kids, and all that. And everybody's like, where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's on the open house over here. So then we're all like, huh? Where?
What?
Right over there. So he's brilliant. Because he got 40 of us go over to the
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
And he acts dumb, like, oh, hey, good to see you guys. Like he didn't plan that.
Here's a oh, I can't believe you guys are here. That's cool. Hey, here's and I apologize for if I mess up your name, but Nija Nasser. Here's a great question. I love this one, and you taught me this, Chris. What if you don't have listings? What's a good way to get some open houses? Oh my God. So think about everything we showed you today. Go ask agents, hey, and pick your poison. So if you want a $350,000 buyer, go to a $350,000 house where people are walking in certain neighborhoods, and brand it yourself with the other agent's permission, of course, right? I don't know the legality of that, but I know a guy, this is no joke. I did a webinar way back when. I don't know when we met, Chris, 6-7 years ago. I did a webinar. I had an agent on the call. He literally was driving down the road listening to the webinar, but in 90 days he called me up. He goes, Scott, he goes, I did exactly what you said. I went out and asked agents if I could borrow their listings to market, put them on Craigslist, put them on social media, hold open houses, and I now have over 60 listings that I'm marketing, because really it's about marketing homes. So he had 60 listings with leads coming out of the woodworks because he was doing all this stuff that Chris just showed you, putting them out there to the, and it was a win-win for these agents. They're like, oh my God, my houses are selling. I'm getting buyer leads. I'm building relationships, and it didn't take long before he had a nice foundation of people that know, like, and trust him because of his marketing.
Yeah, I mean, Scott, my very first listing came from someone else's open house, and so the buyers come in and they go, you know, we live in the neighborhood. We're thinking about, I mean, the sellers, we're thinking about actually selling our house. Would you mind? I said, no, let me come by after the open house. So I come by, and he has me in the backyard, and he looks at me, Scott, and he goes, God, he goes, I can't imagine what it must be like to be a top agent like you. Like, he's just assuming. I totally knew. And he goes, God, how many listings do you have? Like 50, 80? Like, he just thought it was my listing.
Wow.
And I didn't answer because I don't.
Like, what do you say? Yeah, right.
So I just shrugged my shoulders and laughed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, zero.
This is crazy.
And then here's what's funny is that I listed his house, I sold it, and then the neighbors called me to list their house. Okay, the Arnolds. And when I went to list the Arnolds, they had me interview against a bunch of top realtors, and I kicked their butts and got the listing. And it was just, it started this cycle, right? In other words, I created energy, and you guys need to go out there. And so 2 things, Scott. Number 1, agents in your office will gladly. I was in a huge real estate office in Utah about 6 months ago, and I had a same guy ask that question, similar question, and I asked all the realtors, like 60, 70 agents, and I said, okay, how many here have listings? And, you know, like 15 people raised their hand. And I said, how many of you would allow these other agents here to hold your listings open? All of them raised their hand again.
Wow. Yeah, why not? I mean, like it's all about selling homes, right? I mean, why not? Here's a great one, Eric. I appreciate you being here, Eric. He goes, I have multiple listings in a neighborhood or on a lake. Have you ever set up a bus tour? I think that is an amazing idea. I would absolutely, here's what I would personally do. I would do a bus tour of all the homes and open them all up and then take them to a casino or something. Nice little bus trip if you're close enough. But, I mean, give them, you know, I don't know, just have fun, man. Make it a whole day. Hey, we're going to go to this. We're going to do a bus tour of all the homes on this lake, and then we're going to take a trip to the casino. Anybody want to hop on? What a great way to bond. And then you could even, some of these buses have these big screen TVs. You could even be showing, like, some cool stuff. I don't know. You could just go crazy with it, you know. Elevate this.
Yeah, what I used to do, Scott, is I would connect with my mortgage guy, and what I would do is have, you know, my mortgage guy kind of facilitate all the realtors in the neighborhood that have listings.
Yeah.
And so then what you've got is an interconnection between all of us, and we'd have a meeting beforehand, and then we'd plan out having a big caravan. So not only with all my listings, but all the listings. So you pretty much, if there's 20 listings,
all of them,
15 of them are being held open. It's like a superstar of listings. So there's so much. That's a great idea because you're creating energy. And anytime you create energy, it's going to attract more bodies, and that'll get you more leads. Love it.
Right. Okay, we're going to end with this. So Lucky Leads, everybody's asking about it, and everybody's trying to find it. And it's not actually an app, correct? It's a website.
Oh yeah, it's browser-based. The reason it's browser-based
website. It's not a phone app. It's not a Droid app. It's not an iPhone app. It's actually a website that you would visit on your phone or your computer. And I would go to your computer, check it out, and then if you have any questions, just if anybody has any questions, we covered a lot of stuff, Chris, and I really sincerely appreciate you showing everybody like there's so many things I could go back and reiterate, but if you go to facebook.com/groups/ Agent Mastermind. Chris is a part of the group there. If you have any questions, we'll both be interacting. I know the system very well, so if you have any questions whatsoever, where to find something, there's some questions about how to build your brand. There's all kinds of different things. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please go to that private Facebook group, and we will let you in as long as you're a real estate agent, and we'll go from there. So, Chris, man, dude, I'd love to have you back if you'll come back and teach us more of your graciousness, expertise in the real estate business, and all this phenomenal tools you have available for our agents. It's really mind-blowing, dude. So I appreciate all the hard work you guys do.
No, likewise, man. You're just, you guys, we all are so lucky to have, Scott, you're such a great connector, and you're always connecting ideas, connecting people, and all that good stuff. So it's such an honor to be your friend. So
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Everybody have a great day, and Scott, I hope that everybody's going to hold an open house this weekend, because
absolutely. Right.
You want to be like that guy on Orcas Island that open Tuesdays sometimes.
Right. Right on. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys. See you same time, same place, right here next week at 12 o'clock on Agent Mastermind. Everybody have a safe, exciting, and fun rest of the week. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thanks, Scott. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.